You do not move. You have not moved in 3 hours. The cold has found its way through every layer of wool you own and settled into the bone, and still you do not move, because movement is a shape, and a shape is a target. And out here, a target is a dead man. There is snow packed into your mouth so that your breath does not rise and give you away. Your rifle rests on your gloves, not on the frozen ground, because the ground would steal the last of the heat from the steel. Down in the white valley below, a column of Soviet soldiers is picking its way through the drifts, and one of them is about to become a number you will never bother to remember. It is winter, 1939, Finland. The temperature is 40 below, and the sun barely clears the trees before it gives up and goes back down. 2 weeks ago, Stalin sent 750,000 men across the border to swallow your country whole. He expected it to take a few days. He brought tanks, aircraft, artillery, and more soldiers than Finland has people. What Finland brought was the forest, the dark, the cold, and men who had spent their whole lives inside all three. The Finns call this the talvisota, the winter war, and somewhere in the endless white of it, the Red Army has started whispering a name to each other in the dark. 2 words that mean the tree line itself might kill you. Belaya Smert, the White Death. That is you. Though nobody who calls you that has ever seen your face, and the ones who get close enough to see it do not live to describe it. You were not built in a war. You were built in a quiet place, years before any of this. A small farm in Karelia, in the deep woods of southern Finland, where a boy learns to shoot because shooting is how the family eats. You hunted before you could properly carry the gun. You skied before you can remember learning. You spent 10,000 freezing mornings learning to be still, to read a tree line, to put a single bullet exactly where you were looking, because a second shot means a spooked animal and an empty pot. Then you joined the Civil Guard, and you started entering the shooting competitions, and you started winning them. Your house filled up with the little trophies. You were a farmer with a gift, in a country nobody thought about, doing a thing that did not seem to matter. And then the thing that did not matter became the only thing that did. When the war comes, they put you on the defensive line like any other rifleman. But your commanding officer watches you shoot for about a day, and then he stops treating you like any other rifleman. He hands you the war's loneliest job. He sends you out alone. Your first task as a sniper is almost a joke. There is an enemy sniper 400 meters out, dug in behind a rock, and he has been picking at your lines all morning. Your own officer has already tried to kill him with a scoped rifle and failed, so they send for you. You settle in beside the officer, who points vaguely toward the rock and says the Russian is somewhere near it. You look, you see nothing, just a rock and a hump of snow. You wait and you look and you wait, and slowly the hump of snow becomes a man who thinks he cannot be seen. You raise your rifle, 1 shot. The morning goes quiet. Here is the thing that makes you different, the thing the Soviets never understand until it is far too late. You do not use a scope. Every other sniper in this war has a telescopic sight, and every one of them is a little bit doomed by it, because glass catches the low winter sun and throws a wink of light across the snow, and you have killed more careless men by that one wink of glare than you can count. So you keep the iron sights your rifle was born with, no glass, no glare, nothing to give you away. It means you have to let them come closer. You have decided you are fine with that. And you have made the cold your ally instead of your enemy. While the Russians freeze and stamp their feet and light little fires that mark them like candles, you are wrapped in so many layers you look like a drift of snow with eyes. You pack the snow up around yourself into a low white wall. You keep it in your mouth so your breath does not smoke in the air. You pick a spot, a snow-heavy tree with low branches over a good valley, and you fold yourself into the landscape until you simply are not there anymore. And then you do the thing almost no one can do. You wait. Not for minutes, for hours. Motionless, freezing, patient as the winter itself, until the war walks into your sights on its own. One December morning it does. 4 soldiers, moving in a loose line, stepping right into the frame of your iron sights. You fire and reload, faster than seems possible, and when the echoes die, there are 4 men in the snow who will not get up. You keep going. By the end of that single day, you have fired your rifle 25 times and set a record that will never be comfortably beaten. The most confirmed sniper kills in a single day, by one man alone in the snow. The legend grows, and the fear grows with it until it climbs all the way to the top. The Soviet High Command puts a bounty on your head. They send their own snipers hunting specifically for you. They call in artillery, whole batteries of it, on any patch of forest where they think you might be breathing. 50 shells land around your foxhole one day. 50. When it stops, you are still there, and you are still aiming, with nothing to show for their fury but a torn coat and a scratch. Men have emptied the sky at you and missed. One of the Soviet snipers sent to collect the bounty does everything right. He finds a good position. He settles in to wait you out, hour after hour, the way you would. But he is not built for this, the way you are. As the light finally fails, he decides you must have gone home, and he stands up to head back to his own lines. He is right that the day is over. He is wrong about everything else. There is a single crack across the darkening valley, and the man who came to kill the White Death folds into the snow without ever hearing the shot that found him. By the end of January, you have killed 200 men. The Finnish government gives you a custom rifle built just for you, though you shrug and go back to the same battered old rifle you have always trusted. You are a farmer. You do not need a fancy gun to do farm work, and the count keeps climbing, past 300, past 400, toward a number that historians still argue about because it sounds made up. Over 500 men in roughly 100 days, more than 5 a day, every day, through the worst winter in living memory, by one quiet man with iron sights and a mouthful of snow. And then, in the first week of March, the war finally catches up with you. You are in the dark forests of Ulismar, and this time you are not alone in a foxhole. You are leading a squad ordered to counterattack a much larger Red Army force pushing through the trees. You cross a wide frozen swamp at dawn and charge straight into them, so close that some of the enemy are only an arm's length away. Your rifle works perfectly, the way it always has. The enemy breaks and starts to fall back, but a few of their bravest stay behind in the chaos to make you pay for the ground, and one of them, 50 meters off, maybe less, fires a single explosive bullet. It hits you in the jaw. There is a whoosh, and the world narrows to a white tunnel, and then there is no world at all for the White Death. You go down in the snow with half your face gone. When the fighting moves on, your own men come through picking up the dead. They find what is left of you, and there is not enough of it to hope over. So they lay you on the pile with the other fallen and turn to the next body, and then someone notices a leg move. Just a twitch in a heap of men who are all supposed to be finished. Impossibly, unbelievably, you are still alive. You fall into a coma. You stay in it for 3 days, and by the time you surface, the winter war is over. Finland has survived, bloodied, shrunken, but still standing and still free, which is more than anyone in Moscow ever thought possible. It takes 26 operations to rebuild your face. They take a piece of bone from your hip to make you a new jaw. And then, with the whole world calling you the deadliest marksman who ever lived, you do the most Finnish thing imaginable. You go home, you buy a farm in the quiet countryside, you breed dogs and you hunt moose, and you let the snow fall on your land for another 60 years, and you tell almost no one anything. You live to 96. Late in life, people finally come asking, how did it feel? They want to know, out there in the snow, being the thing the enemy prayed against. You give them nothing dramatic. You tell them you felt nothing toward the enemy at all. You just fired and loaded and kept on as long as there were men to fire at. You say you have never once had a bad dream about the war. You say you always slept well, even during it. You say simply that you did what you were told to do, as well as you could do it. And when they ask the only question that really matters, the one everyone wants a secret answer to, how a farmer became the finest shot in the history of the world, you do not tell them about the cold, or the patience, or the snow in your mouth, or the 500 men, or the winter that had your name in it. You just say one word: practice.